Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, guys. Now look, if you're watching this video right now, it's most likely because Ramadan isn't going your way, right? So Ramadan isn't going the way you expected, things aren't going the way you planned. But let's try to understand why. Okay, you had all these big plans for Ramadan. You plan to do more Quran, more sleep, feeling that connection with Allah, and continuously growing your business. But now halfway through Ramadan, you're realizing it's slipping away. Now, why is that? It's because quite simply work is pulling you in 100 different directions, right? You're exhausted from staying up late, sleeping in, client meetings, all of these distractions, they keep hijacking your time, which stops you from what? From feeling like you actually have control. And you've genuinely lost control here, right? You had all these goals when you wanted to start Ramadan. So I'm guessing the majority of you, either your business is absolutely suffering and your ibadah is going great, right? Which is giving you an absolute headache right now. And the other side is a lot of people's ibadahs are just suffering, and so is their business at the same time. Or maybe your business is thriving right now, you're getting all the things you need to do in terms of business right, but your ibadah is suffering. You're not getting the things that you need to get to done. In this video, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, I'm going to show you how to make sure that this Ramadan is actually effective, that your business your business continuously grows, as well as you get the ibadah and that connection with Allah that you're desiring. Now, let's talk about this. Now, why is it so important for us to focus on the ibadah, especially because of Ramadan? Because when we talk about leverage in business, we talk about how minimum inputs can grant us these big, massive outputs. Now, there's no month that is more leveraged than Ramadan, right? We all know that we can do some amount of work in this month and get the reward for potentially 84 years. We have the potential to make it to Jannah just due to this Ramadan. I don't need to even stress on the importance of Ramadan because we all know the importance of Ramadan, right? So what's the problem here? Why is it that majority of us can't make the most out of Ramadan? So let's list them here. So number one, your energy levels, right? So majority of people are dealing with very low energy levels, right? You feel good sometimes in the day and then you feel tired. Why is that? We're going to talk about that. Okay, missed ibadah. Right, so you schedule time for ibadah, or you plan to do certain types you plan to read X amount of Quran, or make tarawih, or tahajjud, or qiyamul layl, whatever it is, you can't make it. Why? Right? You have no time for the Quran, and we know that this is the month of the what? Of the Quran. But you have no time for the Quran. Why is that? We have to understand. Okay? Or the guilt and frustration, and then you get through this guilt phase for not doing all these things, for the missed ibadah, missed low energy. This stops you from being able to, perform in your business also. And we've been told it's just part of Ramadan. You're gonna have poor sleep, you're gonna have poor levels of energy while you're fasting, etc., etc. That's not true. Right? You don't have to. And trust me, my clients don't face any of these issues. And by the way, guys, the reason I'm actually making this video is because one of my clients, he's very new, by the way, right? He just joined us about 4 or 5 days prior to Ramadan. Straight away, he texted me and he was complaining, right? He goes, Fawaz, literally, I'm struggling. And I'll put the message up on the screen somewhere here, right? He goes, I'm struggling. I can't keep up. I'm struggling to juggle between my ibadah, being called with clients, etc., and trying to perform the ibadah that I know I'm meant to perform. Right? But here's the good news, guys. Ramadan isn't over. We still have time to actually turn this around. Okay, we still have time to change this, and I'm going to show you exactly how to change it. So this is most likely going to be your most effective Ramadan yet. Again, my clients have clearly reported that, right? Allah barak, one of my clients who's never ever finished the Quran before, right? Alhamdulillah, he's already finished the Quran this Ramadan. His business is still growing, he's still completed all his business tasks, and he's on the 12th or 13th juz right now, all right? So he's on his way to finishing the Quran for the second time, and again, he's aiming to finish the Quran 3 times this year. Look, his business is going perfectly. He's still getting everything he needs to get done in his business. Why is that? How is that? We're going to talk about that. So step one, let me clarify something, okay? The majority of us have a lack of structure, right? Lack of structure. And this lack of structure is what is causing also a lack of barakah in our time. Right, so we don't feel that we're getting the benefits out of our time, what the things that we're supposed to be doing. Now, why is that, guys? Because majority of us are stuck in a cycle. What is that cycle? I'm gonna break it down. Okay, so you sleep late night, right? And what happens when you sleep late? Quite frankly, you get up late, so you're sleeping during the day, right? So now you're actually sleeping in. Right? And now, because you're sleeping in during the day, you're missing time for what? Ibadah. Right? You feel guilt because you're missing ibadah now. But now it's time to work. So one has to suffer here. It's either like, okay, I need to catch up on ibadah, which is the route some people go with, right? Catching up on the ibadah. Or they have to catch up on work. Right? Again, and what does that lead to? Sleeping late. They're stuck in the cycle forever. They're stuck in the cycle, right? They sleep late, so they sleep in, and then they miss loads of ibadah, so now they feel guilty, so they're missing ibadah and they're missing work here. So either they have to catch up on work or catch up on ibadah. There's not enough hours in the day, quite frankly, right? They've slept in majority of the waking hours. After Maghrib, we all know the schedule. We have to head off to the masjid. In between Maghrib and Isha, there's a little window, Taraweeh, done. You're done, right? So after Taraweeh, you have to make a choice here. Are we going to catch up on work or are we going to catch up on the ibadah? Which anyway forces you into sleeping late, which forces you again, when you're waking up for Fajr, of course you're going to be tired, you're going to have to sleep in again. You're stuck in this repetitive cycle. So how do we get rid of this? Let's talk about that now. So I know all of that sounds so familiar with us. So literally I was on call with one of my clients, and again, he reported the exact same problem. So the thing that my client mentioned is, and I'll put it on the screen, Akhi, I really need some advice. I'm struggling with juggling so much this Ramadan with work, Taraweeh commitments. Time just keeps getting away from me. I intend to start my day focusing on performance and going through the program material, but I just get hooked, right? I get hooked into work and clients needing me left, right, center. Let's talk about this. Why is this the case? Why has he been unable to get these things done? Let's go into it. So fundamentally, guys, we have to be intentional, right? So we have to make sure we set non-negotiable time for ibadah, especially in Ramadan. We have to make sure that there's non-negotiable time spent for ibadah, to lock in with Quran, dhikr, extra prayers, just like a business meeting. The same way it's scheduled in your calendar, you don't miss it, you take it seriously, regardless of what happens, you still get it done. That's the same thing we want to acquire here. Now, the reason I've actually started from Maghrib here is because of two reasons. Number one, Islamically speaking, right, the day begins from Maghrib, right? And fundamentally, the second reason is because if you take care of your night, it becomes very, very easy to take care of your day, right? So almost like this is going to be the reason the day is successful or not, right? So if you take care of this part, you're going to be successful. So now Maghrib to Isha, there's a very small window there, right? So a lot of the times that's going to be iftar. There's not a lot of time. We have Isha prayer, right? And then over here as well, we have Taraweeh, etc. Guys, here's where majority of us make the mistake, right? Number one, over here at the time of Maghrib, what do? We eat foods that are destroying our health. Right, so we keep complaining of low energy, etc. What are you eating in Ramadan? Right, Ramadan isn't the point. The point of Ramadan isn't 3-course massive meals. That's not the point of Ramadan. You know what? That's for Eid. Right? Again, that's Eid. That's after Ramadan. You can focus on having nice big fat meals, etc. You don't want to focus on having big fat meals. You want to focus, especially because the window in which you actually have here to get nutrients into your body is so small. You want to make sure that you're having foods and you're putting nutrients into your body that are going to benefit you and be able to give you energy to sustain throughout the day, right? So you want to make sure you're eating clean here. What should you ideally be eating? You guys, again, there's going to be a PDF on all of my advices and all the things that, you know, what I advise for Ramadan, go in there. We have this call with our clients, alhamdulillah. Many of them benefited from it. Things like electrolytes as well, making sure that you're getting the correct hydration and electrolytes helping your body better hydrate as well. All of those things we're going to mention in the description. Click the first PDF in and go get the PDF, inshallah, on the Ramadan blueprint, right? How we make this every Ramadan successful. But like I said, here's another problem, right? So after Taraweeh, what do a lot of people do, right? They start socializing, they go out with friends, they go out chilling, etc. That's not what Ramadan is for. Fundamentally, Ramadan is for ibadah. It's not to chill with your friends, etc. If you want to chill with your friends or have a nice time, go do that in between Maghrib and Isha once you've completed iftar. Right? Personally, I wouldn't even advise it. Again, that's something you should probably just leave for Eid, to be honest with you. Eid is that time where you can have that fun with your friends. Ramadan, we're here to get the most amount of benefit possible. Like we said, it is a leveraged month. So we want to get as much benefit out of Ramadan as possible. All right? So ideally here, we want to go straight to sleep. We want to sleep. Right? Once you've completed everything, you want to sleep, you want to wake up a small window here for Qiyamul Layl, okay, for Qiyam, and then have your suhoor as close to Fajr as possible. That's an S, guys, right? So you want to have a suhoor as close to possible. Go to sleep. You don't need to be awake. As soon as you pray Taraweeh, get to bed straight away. Rush to go to sleep. Because otherwise, you're going to be suffering throughout. Now for me, okay, how I like to do it with my clients as well, guys. So Fajr until Shuruq, which is essentially sunrise. Okay, we stay up, we read Quran. Right, so we leave this time for Quran as much as we can, right? Fajr until Shuruq. We focus on Quran. We can get Quran in, and I'm sure you guys know the reward after Fajr. If you sit down and you stay remembering Allah, and then you pray 2 rak'ah after Shuruq, you get the reward of Hajj and Umrah, right? So again, guys, that is just the time for Quran. Now you can stretch it past Shuruq, but at least the minimum you want to set that intentional time for what? For Quran. Now, let's talk about the next thing. The next thing after Shuruq, if you still have energy, which you should, right? Ideally you want to work, you want to start working. Every bit of work should be scheduled up until Asr. So work, here, work, pray Dhuhr, again work, and then spend your time, Asr, all the way till Maghrib, okay? Spend it reading Quran. And again, you can read Quran during breaks, because obviously you shouldn't be just working straight full time with no breaks. Whenever you have a 90-minute break, spend the time in between working. All right, reading Quran. Spend those breaks in between, get some Quran done, read some. And again, guys, if you follow this strategy, and trust me, you will have energy throughout the day. Especially now, guys, like you have to think, we're in February. If you don't have energy for fasting to a 12-hour window, it's difficult for you to fast, and you're getting serious lack of energy throughout the day, then clearly there's an issue with what you're eating, right? There's just clearly an issue with either your diet, your sleep, or your movement. It's fundamentally one of the three things. So that way, guys, when you leave specific time for work and specific time for Quran, specific time for Qiyam, all of these things, you're being more intentional. Right? So you've dedicated these ibadah time blocks so work doesn't end up consuming you. As soon as it's time for you to move on to ibadah, you push whatever it is aside, right? So the difference is he went from feeling reactive, overwhelmed, to knowing exactly when to work, when to shut the work down, put boundaries between him and work, and when to worship and when to rest. Those are important, right? Knowing when to work, knowing what time to do ibadah, knowing what time to sleep as well, and you can do the same if you just start today. So fundamentally, guys, right, I know some of you are thinking, yeah, but for us, I have so much work and it just gets in the way and there's nothing I can do to stop it. Look, we want to split it into two, right? So there's urgent tasks, things that are absolutely urgent, and then there's things that are important. All right? So an example of urgent tasks versus important one, for example, this could be like work meetings. All right, you have an urgent meeting, blah, 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 okay? You have client calls. All right, or you have maybe social visits. All right, emails, notifications, all these things that are pouring in that are bringing you sort of the hecticness, the chaos in your life. But what is important here, we have to look Quran and dhikr, right? So Quran and dhikr is fundamentally important. Doing extra prayers, right? That's what's important this month, right? So the extra prayers. Self-reflection. Making as much dua as possible. Qiyam. So you want to start to identify which side is really dominating my day. Am I just falling for things that are urgent, being called randomly, or am I genuinely focusing on the things that are important? Now, would you ever let a random distraction ruin $1 million deal? That's a question I always ask my clients, right? Would you let a random distraction ruin $1 million deal? No, you wouldn't. So why would you let it ruin your Ramadan? So how did we fix this for a client? He was essentially drowning in urgent tasks. So I simply helped him identify. We worked with him to identify where are the leverage points. So there's certain tasks that he could, one of three things, right? And especially in Ramadan, this is what as CEOs we should be aiming to do, right? It's stuck between two things. Either I should the task, right? I'm going to explain what this is. I should A the task, or I should D the task, right? So the first one, the one I always look for is eliminate. Does this thing actually need to be done? So many, you'd be shocked how many things we do that don't need to be done, right? The second question I ask myself is, can I just automate this process for the rest of Ramadan? When it comes to like food, is there a way I could just automate it so I don't have to think about it, or an issue in my company, I could just make one decision one day that stops me having to think about it for the rest of the days of Ramadan? Or can I just delegate it, right? Is this something that I should be doing, or should I just push it to someone else, right? Because there's a lot of things we can delegate, but we just do because it makes us feel good. We only want to do the tasks that are high leverage. Only the things, especially in Ramadan, we don't want to be doing anything that doesn't move the needle forward in our business. Why? Because we don't have a lot of time here. We're prioritizing ibadah. So literally, he started to cut out the low level value work, and he was able to free up 2 more hours on his day for ibadah. Now he's running his business and making more time for Allah. So if he can do it, you can do it as well, guys. So now, guys, fundamentally, you have to understand the next thing that is stopping you from having a successful Ramadan is your energy management. Now, we touched on this lightly, but let's go into it now, inshallah. Right? So why is your energy management stopping you from having the most successful Ramadan properly? Right? What you have to understand is, if you have a poor suhoor, you're going to have low energy. Like, I don't know why entrepreneurs haven't yet bridged the gap between what they put in their mouths and how they feel throughout the day, right? It's going to affect one. If you're not hydrated, so bad hydration, you're going to get burnt out throughout the day. You're going to feel like on the afternoon, this afternoon burnout, right? The majority of entrepreneurs complain about during the afternoon, I feel tired, my mind is gone, I can't focus on anything, right? You're going to get that. Now, if you don't know how to wind down in the evening as well, so no evening wind down is actually going to cause you to what? It's going to cause you to what? Become sleep deprived. And a lot of clients report that, Fawaz, I tried to get to bed on time, but somehow I can't sleep. Yeah, it's because you were flipping, engaging in funny conversations up until like after Taraweeh, and then now you want to get to sleep, right? Of course, it's not going to work. So if you look at it, his meals were making him sluggish as well, right? So guys, we optimized his suhoor and iftars. And again, if you look in the description and you download that PDF, I'll also give you guys advice on the types of foods you should be eating for suhoor, right? So we made sure that 80%, now, look, quite frankly, I know it's Ramadan, you're fasting all day, towards the end of the day, you're gonna have some slight cravings, I don't care. Once 80% of your diet is actually nice and clean, okay? It's clean foods, slow digesting carbs, proteins, hydration, that will stop you from having these sugar crashes, right? From overeating is what you wanna avoid overeating as much as possible, because that just messes you up totally in terms of ibadah and in terms of work as well. Post-iftar movement, okay? So again, my advice, guys, is if you can, just park 5 minutes away from masjid, 10 minutes away, try to walk to the masjid. If you live in a Muslim country, fantastic. Walk to the masjid, just a bit of movement, allowing the food to digest will allow you to get to bed much better on time. What you have to understand is fuel is equal to focus. Depending on what you fuel your body with is going to, have an effect on your ability to focus throughout the day and maintain your energy levels, right? So a lot of the times you're not eating the right foods is why you can't focus throughout the day. You don't get the sweetness of the ibadah, you don't get the sweetness of Taraweeh, etc. Right? Ramadan isn't about eating or meeting people. That's what Eid is for. We have to distinguish. So let's be real, when work calls, you answer. When your friend says, let's chill, you go. And when it's time for Quran, suddenly you're too busy. Why do you think that is, right? When a person's priority is not Allah, Allah is going to make him busy with everything else. This is a statement by Ibn al-Qayyim, right? One of the reasons my other clients was getting pulled to 100 directions, he says, look, like I keep getting these social visits and these endless messages and constant interruptions. People invite me here and there and there. Set boundaries. If it doesn't serve your akhirah, it's a no, right? So distraction filters, clients and work, they can wait. Your ibadah can't. Right? A lot of the times we think because we have clients, we have to be like 24/7 there, ready behind the screen for them. No, they don't need that. And quite frankly, that doesn't benefit you or them. This is my really big advice, guys, right? A major advice I have for you guys is just do me this one favor. And I promise you, it's going to change your life. And I'll put a testimonial of my client on the screen, him reporting how it benefited him as well. If every night of Ramadan, right? Every night, for just 5 to 10 minutes, you audit your day. Just audit your day. 5 minutes before you go to bed. Where did maybe the chaos come in today? What can I fix tomorrow? Because naturally it's going to happen, guys, right? Life is chaotic. Things happen. Things get pulled in direction. This is how you improve before we get to the last 10 days of Ramadan and you're just lost. Figure out, where is my time leaking? And trust me, time is always leaking somewhere. It's a question I love to ask myself. Where is the leak? Okay, if we can identify the leak, we can focus, we can shut it first of all, and ideally we can get to the things that we want to get to. Okay, so guys, just to clarify, I want to make something clear. Like, Ramadan is not over. Walillah alhamd. If you guys are watching this in time, then we still have about 15 days left of Ramadan, meaning we still have 15 days to change and make this more effective. By the way, this situation isn't just unique to Ramadan, by the way. This happens constantly. Ramadan only shows how weak and rubbish people's systems are on an average day, month in, month out, and it only reflects in their business as well, right? So guys, if you want to, just like my clients, change this, have an effect, decide right now, what are your non-negotiables, right? What do you want to achieve for Ramadan, right? How much Quran do you want to read, right? How much ibadah? What's the important times? Hold yourself accountable. Make the adjustments. Change your structure today, not next year, today. Right? So fundamentally you have two choices, right? It's always two choices, right? So either you, right, you keep struggling, below, always complain how you're burnt out and your battery is on zero. You can keep going that way if you want, yeah? And then do the same next year, Ramadan as well, and waste the whole month. Right? Or you have the second option, which is where you need to what? Take control and actually design your life. It's time to now actually design your life, to get you to where you need to be, to design how you're going to make this impactful, right? So the same systems that help you scale your business will help you scale your life. That's exactly why I created, alhamdulillah, the Live by Design program. That's exactly why my clients, alhamdulillah, have been able to allow this to be the most effective Ramadan, from their own words, where they're still making more money and they're still up in the ibadah. We have one of my clients, Allah Barak, she's constantly cleaning the masjid. She's doing multiple different things, and alhamdulillah, she's much better, has improved her energy management as well. So this is exactly why we created the Live by Design program, guys. So if you're serious about reclaiming this Ramadan, click the link below. right? Let's make these last 15 days count. Let's make this Ramadan as effective as possible. In fact, let's just make your whole life as impactful as possible, guys. So this is literally the way to make your Ramadan effective. So once you click that link in the description, download the Ramadan blueprint, book a call with myself. We will help you build this in your life, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. Now I know the time, maybe the times between salah I mentioned isn't going to work for everyone. That's fine, we understand that. It doesn't work for all my clients either. We adjust it and we make sure it's designed to their life. That's the whole point. So guys, look, this is exactly how you build that Ramadan, how you get the most effective Ramadan. Where the leaks are, I've showed you guys. Please make sure you make this your most important Ramadan yet. We may not catch the one next year, inshallah. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.